Simple Car Guy here, and today I'm sitting in my BMW Z4 that I've owned for over 3 years. And in those years, I've done quite a few mods, and some were to just make the car more comfortable and easier to live with on the day-to-day basis. One of my favorites was adding this CarPlay unit that allows me to connect my phone and makes the car feel a lot more modern. What doesn't feel very modern in this car is the lack of cup holders that are actually usable. So it doesn't sound that bad, but imagine you have a passenger and then they use that cup holder and now you have nowhere else to put your drink. Well, okay, I know some of you are going to be saying, hey, well, there is a couple more cup holders here under the armrest. And yes, technically that is true, but they are the worst design I have ever seen for a cup holder. First of all, you can't close it, right? So if you put something in there, well, it has to stay open like this, which is kind of silly. Second of all, if you drive like this, it's very uncomfortable. And third of all, if you have an open drink or especially a fountain drink, you can easily knock it over in a corner and then spill everything all over your car. Why would you want to put your drink here? That's not a usable cup holder to me. So what we're going to do in this video is install this Beamer cup holder just right here instead of the storage spot. And then we are going to be able to add 2 more drinks while driving. Simple, easy, and hopefully easy to install mod. Let's get it done. This should be pretty simple to install, as all we're doing is removing this part and installing this one instead. But let's see how long it actually takes. So I'm just going to use one of these trim removal tools, as we're going to be removing this entire trim piece, going underneath, removing the 4 screws and putting the new piece in. So we're going to open the armrest, kind of dig in here from this side, lever that out a little bit, go on this side. There you go. Yep, that comes out pretty easy. Yours might be a little bit more difficult, as I've been here before, so my clips are not as tight. But before we actually remove it completely, we want to remove this piece as well. And we want to remove it because it's going to be easier if we remove the entire trim piece from the car, and this will stay behind. There are quite a few connectors underneath, so we're going to remove those first. So I'm just going to remove them like that. See, there's one. So that's for our parking brake. There is another one. There it is. Pop that off. Gives us a bit more space. And now we have access to these 4 screws, so we can easily remove it. So honestly, it took what, like 30 seconds to get here? That's pretty quick. We don't even have to remove this connector, as we can just pivot this up, and then we have plenty of space to get to all of the screws. You will need a T10 eTorx socket. I'll have some links in the description if you need one. And now we're just going to remove it, save the screws, as we're going to be reusing them. And there it goes, it just pops off. Put that in. Make sure it fits well. And now we can just reinstall the screws. Of course, before you put everything back, plug the cables back in. So we got one here and one right there. Gotta be careful not to bend the little clips. They're a bit finicky sometimes, but not too bad. This is probably the hardest part. It takes a little bit of time to get this perfectly aligned. A little bit of force is required. Let's not forget our gear shifter boot, and of course the gear shifter. And just like that, with these 2 simple tools, we were able to swap out this little storage unit with a couple of extra cup holders. They can hold the standard can, so imagine your standard Coke, Sprite, Pepsi, whatever can, that fits perfectly in there. It's not going to fit anything bigger, so if you want to put like an Arizona in there, yeah, that's not going to work, obviously, but that's why you have your original one here for the bigger drinks. Here, we got a couple extra little drinks that we can put in here. Just like that, fits perfectly, stays pretty stable. Love it. Now that it's installed, what do we think about the fit and finish? Well, it is a 3D printed item, and you can tell in some spots it feels not the smoothest. It's not like the smooth, you know, BMW plastic, but it feels nice to the hand. Nothing to complain about. There's no sharp edges or anything like that. It fits decently well. There is a tiny bit of a gap right here, but it's barely noticeable. You really have to pay attention to it. Otherwise, it fits perfectly all around the edges here and on this side as well. I also really like the Z4 written on the inside here and the cup holders. And of course, if you're not using both of them for drinks, you can put some change or whatever else you would keep in the original storage compartment just in there. On that note, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like to see how I installed this CarPlay unit in the Z4, why not click on this video right here where I show you step by step on how to do so. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.